welcome to another Train Sim World 2 video. And this morning we are going to be on the rapid transit route. We are going to go, let me get everything set up here. We'll be going on the Talent 2 here. I'm going to get a little bit of weather just to make things a little bit interesting. I'm going to do a little winter fog again. So we're going to do the 1235 service. This one right here. Southbound services. We'll get in here and get the locomotive set up, and we will be on our way. Decided to get an early start this morning. Get this stream knocked out so I can do my appointment later today. 10 for some academic advising. Part 1, I guess you could call it. I have to meet with my, I guess, assigned academic advisor on Friday. So yeah. But, you know, I'm of the mindset that, you know, the more the merrier. Whatever, how much ever help I can get to make sure I'm on the right track for school, I'm all for it. So, alright, let's get the doors open. Get the cab all set up here. Passenger lights are on. We don't need the cabin lights, really. This contrast so it's a little bit easier to read. There we go. I forget how to set up there. But anyway, alright. And then I gotta get the PZB and CIFA turned on. CIFA. There we go. Okay, so we are all set for that. The door's locked. Graph is up. Circuit breaker's closed. Now, of course, down here, there should be a magnet there by that green. Matter of fact, since it's lighter out, we should be able to see the magnet. That's the magnet reader right there, hanging off right there. So when that passes over, you have a very limited amount of time to acknowledge that. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot something. Before we get too far down the road, we want to get things over to the kilometers instead of miles per hour. Totally forgot about that. Alright, there we go. So once we get closer to that 120 right there, we should be able to start going a little bit quicker. But with that flashing, I don't want to get too close to 45. There's a SIFA. So that's the locomotive we're in today. The 4 or the 4. I want to make sure I say this right. 442. Yeah. So this was a route that originally came out with the game. Alright, we should be able to go quicker now. Is that it stopped blinking? Yeah, this is one of the very first routes in the game. Hasn't gotten much in the way of updates, although they're working on some updates for scenario planning. Excuse me. For this route, people or some of the players aren't too happy with the choices that you get for the locomotive, train. What do you call it? How many trains you could put together, the formations and all that. I guess it's not as good as many people thought it was going to be. So anyway, yeah. So this is the route that I did learn PZB on. It took me the 5 tries to kind of figure it out. There's one area in particular that really kind of threw me for a loop. We'll see if it does it again this time. Well, we gotta start braking here. So you got the ice. Icy track there. If we can stop here at the end. Oh, that one's gonna go past too. Yeah, we're gonna have to back up. Nope, I guess not. Boy. You can see the ice on the rails, it looks like there. We were a little bit late getting into. Well, that's okay. We'll get there. Here's what it looks like. Oh, here's what the everything looks like here. I think there's some you can have 2 of these all put together. So instead of 1, 2, 3, it'll be 6 instead of 3. We're just doing this service here, and yeah, I don't think they ever fixed it. This might not have a the ability to put up the route information there on the boards. I think I discovered that quite by accident, the hard way. All right. I see it will slip. lot of wheel slip. We've got quite a bit of distance to cover to get to our next stop there. So this route goes, it starts off above ground, going this southerly direction. And then we'll eventually go into kind of a subway sort of setting. And then we'll go back above ground for the remainder of the route. It doesn't take much for this train to lose speed, and it goes fairly quickly. It's not like just a little bit at a time. Oh, the other thing you can do here, you can pull the blind down so the passengers can't see into the cab. There's a station here. We're going to go right on through. So there's, I think, a couple different services on here that you can do. There's no freight service. It's all passenger. I looked at the map in real life. The way that they have this design, it kind of combines. Normally, this route, once we get to a certain point, it makes a left turn for this particular route. But they kind of done away with that, and you kind of do this weird little turn thing, and then it goes on down further south. So they combined two different routes, it seems, to create this one. But yeah, it's all passenger. There's no freight services on here. But you have a couple different options when it comes to passenger service, not just this Talent 2. But yeah, it's probably excuse me, it's probably one of the lesser known routes on this game, as far, you know, because it was one of the original ones, and a lot of people tend to forget. Oh boy, I'm kind of not watching my. I might do the same thing again. Yeah, this is gonna be. Maybe a little late getting here, but at least this time we're not gonna go blowing through the station here. Hmm. So we do have a 70 mile an hour limit, or 70 kph coming up here soon. So we should get a warning board for that shortly. These tracks don't seem. Maybe I'm wrong. It's kind of hard to tell. Yeah, right around the corner here somewhere there should be that. Oh, there it was back there. So we're under the 70 or the 1000 hertz magnet. So we're gonna have to start slowing down here. Otherwise, that EZB is gonna kick in, and let's see if I can get it released. Oh, there we go. And finally released. We'll be late getting in here. We're probably going to be late on most all the stops here. It's going to be a bit difficult to catch up, especially with the icy tracks here. Trying to get the power on to get up to speed is going to be a bit challenging. Kind of a unique station here. It seems like a kind of an industrial type building. I think that's probably the old station. Got all this graffiti on here. Here's what the inside looks like. Of course, you can see it from out there. An area it looks like for... Well, no, you can't have bikes there. I think there was one of the cabs had a spot for bikes, I thought. Up right here. There's a area for bikes in this one. There's a bathroom here. Alright, so should be getting back up here to 120. Yep, there's our boards for that. Acknowledge those. So this is a really nice area, I think, too, for the trains. You got a bit of a countryside, villages, the houses right here by the tracks, with nice backyards and everything. So it's got a bit of a country feel to it. Oh, we're gonna have a 140 here shortly. There's the boards for that. Gotta start slowing down here again. It almost seems like now that we've kind of gotten onto the route that the tracks are not as icy as they were earlier. So I guess that'll work out in our favor, but it's going to be really difficult to make up all this time. Let's see. Use the drone cam, as I like to call it. Thought we were going to be able to brake, but apparently the brakes decided to kind of have a mind of their own. Good lord. Excuse me. I was hoping to stop way back there, where I should have stopped. But we're on the platform, so that's... Are we all on? Yep. Barely on the platform. Ay. Oh well. It's all good. So there's the pantograph providing power for the locomotive. Then we have one pantograph unit for these three cars. Alright, and away we go. Greppen is our next stop, right up the road here. And then we have a 120 coming right up here shortly. All right. And then once we stop at Greppen there, it looks like we do have a we got a 60 kilometer speed limit coming up. A little bit of an uphill continues, and we're just going to let the speed breathe off there on its own. Let's see if we can get a better stop this time. There we go. So yeah, this is where we would. This is the stop board there. So we want to keep an eye out for those number 2s, the big blue signs there. And we should be okay. I feel like there was some. Trying to remember what some of the jobs were on this route, aside from the usual station maps, route maps along the way. Bitterfeld is next. Yeah, so the adhesion, as they call it in the game, that was something they brought out for Train Sim World 2. It's really seemed to be more prevalent when on Sandpatch Grade at first. You know, happen to know how to work the throttle and everything. Took a bit of a learning curve, you know, using the sand to try to add a bit of grip. Alright, so we got to get down to 60 here. Actually, we'll go. Alright, let's get back up here. I think this is the area that got me. So eventually past this 60 there will be a we'll go back up to 100 kilometers, but we're coming into the station here, so oh, 120. Okay. There's no board, that's the weird thing, but I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it. So we don't get hit with the PZB coming into the station and stop well short and then have to. So there's one of the other services there, the Doppelstock. I'm going to slow down a bit too much there. Double stock's leaving. Instead of that locomotive there on the back that's providing the locomotive power, pushing or pulling it, depending on which way you're going. Now, this one didn't have really a stop marker. It was right about here, but there wasn't the traditional 2 or anything hanging out. Pretty good sized. So yeah, this is the part where I think normally right here it would split off here to the left for the continuation of the legitimate route in real life, but instead we do this little weird turn and then we go straight on to the next part of the route. So we have to watch our speed coming in or leaving. Because we got a blinking 85-70 there. And that once we pass this magnet, hopefully. Nope. Probably after we pass the 160. Which is weird because again we don't have like an actual board. Yep, there we go. Okay. Five and a half kilometers to our next destination. Applying a little bit more to the throttle, and then hopefully we'll start building up speed even more. And of course the tricky part of this is going to be slowing the train down in time to not miss the station. Now I don't think we'll get anything lower than 250 points for the passenger service at this point. I think that's just the bare minimum that they give. Let's go ahead and start bleeding off the speed a little bit on its own. That 1.3, yep, see where it's going fairly quickly, so I'm going to go ahead and start hitting the brake a little bit now. Yep. Should have started doing it way earlier. This is gonna be really yeah, we're just basically sliding now. Yep. Excuse me. Yeah. Slid all the way. We should have stopped, I think, way back here, actually. Yeah. So here's one of the magnets, and if you look real closely, it's 2,000 hertz on that one, but we never really have to, doesn't seem like we have to worry about that one unless there's like any kind of a sign for speed limits or whatever. These are anyway. So pretty soon we'll head into the underground. I think that's we start heading into the underground part of this route here pretty soon. Another stop or two. I think, and though a lot of those are very close together, it's going to be as short. You know, we start to throttle up and then we're going right into the station. It's windmills over here, but not running. The Leech und Bahnhof, I think, is our next stop. If I'm pronouncing it correctly. Little creek or river there. Now, from what I understand, German train routes were famous for timeliness. My German teacher was telling me that's not so much the case anymore. That they've kind of, I don't want to say, I don't know if it's relaxed the standards a little bit or what happened, but she said the trains are not as famously on time as they used to be for whatever reason. I don't know if that was adding stress to the drivers or what was happening, but yeah, they are not as world renowned for their timeliness as they used to be, which I thought was really strange because that's something that they prided themselves on. The Long Island Railroad, for instance, they are notoriously late, although they have slightly improved their on time. You know, they're a little bit closer to the mark now, so it's kind of weird that the Germans have kind of given that up, and Long Island Railroad, on the other hand, has made some improvements to being on time or as close to on time as possible, whereas in the past they were notoriously late. Yeah, the European train system obviously is still, I think, the standard when it comes to passenger service, getting passengers to their destinations in a timely manner. When I was in Germany, I did enjoy riding the trains. Certainly they didn't have anything as fancy as they have now on the railroads. I don't recall. I wish I had taken pictures of it. I don't recall what kind of locomotives they had back then. But yeah, it was always fun to ride the train there in Europe, in Germany especially. I didn't take the train anywhere else. Unfortunately, I didn't. Something I regret now to this day that I didn't do more train travel while I was there. Train travel here in America used to be a much bigger deal, and we've kind of gotten away from that. It's not as prevalent as it used to be. Some commuter services are, but not. It's not as widespread or well known as it is in Europe, unfortunately. So. Yeah, we finally got a good stop there. Weren't going too far past or way short, so finally get our 500 points for that stop. We should still, well, I think for whatever reason, Dovetail, this used to give medals, of course, for completing things, or bronze, silver, or gold, but now it's just a check mark. I don't know if that was intentional or if when they changed one thing, it changed something else, and yeah. So at this point, I don't see any reason to get on the Dovetail forums and make a complaint about it. I think they've got plenty of fish to fry on their plate right now, so to speak. Zorschtal is our next stop. Or Zorstal. Sal. Maybe it's Zorktal. Anyway, that's our next. So yeah, I think after that one we go into the subway basically, or go underground. And later today we'll be on the Wursig Nord. We're going to take the 185.2, do some freight service. I think we're going to be hauling fuel, if I remember correctly, to Hagen. Or I think it might be just mixed freight. Or no, it's empty coal cars or something like that. But anyway, we're going to be on that route later today, do some freight service. And then we'll talk about tomorrow in the second stream today. Later today. Ooh, I better start slowing down. Should have been letting off the throttle way back and starting to brake way earlier. Yeah, we're gonna go sliding past this one too. Ay caramba. Yep. Oh boy. This is going to be a doozy. I'm not paying attention. Yeah, look at that. Just go right on through. Oh boy. Yeah, I just completely missed the station there, didn't I? Wow, look at that. It's just, I just keep going. That's embarrassing. It's not helping that we're just sliding. It's like I can't even. All right, let's get this in reverse. Oops. Yeah, this is embarrassing. Oh well, it's all good fun learning experience. Okay, that's one of the things to do. Yeah, so you have to find these messed up parts of the station platform, and then you have to put down a caution cone. That's one of the things. I think the other one is, of course, the station maps, which I think. Yep. Oh, wait, that was it. Was that a poster? Looked like there was a poster there. Maybe that was the route map. Oh, it won't let me go down there now. Okay. But anyway, yeah, those are some of the little jobs that you do here on the route. I think I found got all the collectibles on this route. So we're finally on our way after that ludicrous display of stopping stopping at the station. Oh well, it happens. It happens. I need to try to get up to speed here. Not that it's going to make much difference anymore. I mean, we're so far behind now. We're almost 9 minutes behind. We're going to be even longer behind by the time we get to the very end. But we're going to stick through it and get our passengers to their destinations and try to keep an eye on the distance here. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get a little bit of brake on and start slowing down now, because that 1.5 it'll go a little bit. Yep, so it's already going quick. Yeah, we're gonna be 11 minutes late here getting in. Alright, well, that's a little bit better this time. At least we didn't go shooting through. Let's see, I think it was a... That. So I've kind of planned out the rest of the week and into the weekend. So tomorrow will be more German routes. Saturday or Friday will be French Canadian. So we're gonna do in the morning. We're gonna do an LGV or TGV service on the LGV Mediterranean, and then we'll go up to Oakville subdivision and do some switching. We're gonna do a scenario on that, and then Saturday we're gonna do what we call scenario Saturday. There's a couple scenarios that I've not done, so we're gonna work on those, and then we'll still do double route Sunday. I don't know which routes, or yeah, I do. I already planned that out as well. I think on Sunday morning we'll do East Coast Way and then Great Western. And then in the afternoon we're going to do the Bakerloo line. We're gonna, and then, no, Isle of Wight. And then we're going to do Long Island Railroad. Take the M7 and do some services on that. I haven't picked which parts, which services I'll do. But yeah, so yeah, Saturday will be scenario Saturday. I'll try to do scenarios that even if I've completed them, I'll redo some of them just to kind of show some of that. But yeah, so yeah, I think I have everything pretty much planned out all the way till Sunday. Let's see, let me find my notes here. Yeah. Double route Sunday will be East Coast Way, Great Western, Isle of Wight, and Long Island Railroad. Scenario Saturday will be the on the North Transpennine in the morning, and in the afternoon we're going to do a scenario on the Bakerloo line. That's what it is. So yeah, we'll work on those, and hopefully it'll be a entertaining week for everybody. Something different. Hopefully I won't be just sliding through stations and all that, but we will be returning to the rapid transit route down, sometime next week as well. We'll keep working at this one. Maybe we'll try a different locomotive next time other than the Talent 2, and maybe we won't have the, there goes the Doppelstock. Maybe we won't have the icy, the icy rail to deal with. Maybe we'll keep that off just so that, but I know it's kind of fun to watch people go sliding through the stations, but yeah, maybe we'll do a summertime or springtime sort of thing instead. It'd be nice if spring was here early, so maybe we'll do early spring for our own let's start getting on the brake now. Is that one? Like I said before, that one. Well, everything kind of just starts to speed up for some reason, and then next thing you know, you've not slowed down sufficiently, and so yeah, we'll go ahead and start. If we can, we're gonna really bleed off some of that speed. Yeah, see how it's. Oh, see, this is the one this is kind of weird. So normally we wouldn't be able to ride outside the cab going even through something like that. But for whatever reason, this one allows us to. Kind of weird. You can see a little construction company there. Cement mixing trucks. Little gardens. Oh, somebody got a trampoline, it looks like. More little gardens and stuff. Swing set. Oh, somebody's got a nice large backyard here. Oh. Doesn't seem like there's much traffic on the road either. Is there another train? Not really, no. It's part of the station. Looks like... Yep. Interestingly enough, so there's a warning board for a 120. I'm not sure if it's for us or for the other route, the other line next to us, but I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it just to be on the safe side. So that does it does split off over there. Figure it's better to acknowledge it. It doesn't apply to us, but if I forget it and don't acknowledge it, then it might throw the PZB into conniptions and we get stopped way short. And alright, get the door open. Yeah, we are 12 minutes late already. Oh well, it happens. We'll stick through it. You know, this is the weird thing. So you got this, you got a road, but you got this big old patch of ice, snow right here. And it goes underneath the, that's the weird part. Like it just got dumped there. Very strange. But like I said, this was an original route. They've not really done much with it since then. There's not been any real major updates to it. That's another tricky part too. If you try to get on the gas as soon as or the power, whatever you want to call it, as soon as the doors are closed, sometimes the brakes have not finished releasing, so you can get on the power. So when you go into the power range on the throttle instead of the brake, because this is it's all in one, brake and throttle. Sometimes it'll stay red until you you have to kind of come back off the power, and it'll, when it goes gray around the box there like it is now, or white, it will cause a bit of a mess, but, or headache, until you have to let everything kind of reset. We got the 120 coming up here. I guess, yeah, here's where we're going to go into the underground. So let's see if we have an actual 120 board here. I think we do. Yep. And we have to keep an eye on those flashing lights. It looks like it's gonna go down to 90 here shortly. Once we get past this 120. So we're going to take a very sharp dive into the underground here shortly. And then as soon as we get downhill there, it's going to go... The station will be kind of like right there. And then the rest of them, it's going to go very quickly, I think. We're going to go downhill here, and then a slight uphill. So yeah, lips ignored. Yeah, I think that one's our first underground. Nope, maybe not. Maybe it's after this one. It's been a while since I've been on this route too. Excuse me. So yeah, we're gonna have to acknowledge this signal when we leave the station here. I think is this a 1,000 hertz here, or is it a 2,000? Let's take a look. It's 1,000/2,000, so we're gonna acknowledge that when we go by because there's some speed limits on this sign. So we're gonna have to acknowledge that. The next station, I think, is when we're gonna go into the underground here. This yard, I don't think we... Yeah. Can't really access that one. Even with the, doing some of the jobs, you can't really run over there. It's like there's a big invisible wall. It kind of keeps you away from there. Comes another Talent 2 coming into the station. We got an 80 kilometer coming up here, so that's why the 8's there. Of course, the 100 is where we're at right now, but we have to be at 80 before the next signal. And as I've said before, the Dovetail Games does have manuals. You can find it on their website that kind of explains the signaling. So Leipzig Hauptbahnhof. That's our next destination. That one should be underground. We should be, yeah. The tunnel starts somewhere over here, and then we'll be in the underground for a bit. And then eventually we'll come back up above ground for the last few stops, I think. It won't release us from that magnet, unfortunately. Oh, there we go, finally. So the thing with the PZB, of course, is practicing when to release or get that acknowledgement, so that you don't get dinged on the with the PZB itself. You know, it'll throw on the brake and all that. So we're gonna get back. I'm gonna try to get under 40 here, because we're going to go downhill very sharply here shortly. It's going to be a bit of a challenge trying to keep our speed. Acknowledge that. So it went up, but if we speed up, well, we can speed up now, but a little bit reluctant to do so completely, because otherwise the PZB might kick in, and that the might throw on the brakes. But that's the difficult part of learning it, of the PZB. But I tell you, the 5th time when I ran it, I didn't have any issues. It was a pretty rewarding experience, to be honest. You know, it does add definitely a level of realism, I guess, to have that bit of a added stress of, you know, watching your speeds and whatnot. So we should be good. We're in the underground now. We shouldn't have any icy tracks or anything. So we should be able to kind of get up to speed fairly quickly. And again, see, it allows us to use the outside camera here, but other routes, there's the Doppelstock. We should have no issues braking actually fairly dry and everything. Nope, maybe not. So yeah, you got the ice still on the top of the locomotive. Or the train itself overall. So the magnets are always going to be generally on that side. I don't think there's a magnet reader on this side. Nope. The only thing that I find interesting is it's got this coupler just sticking out the front. You know, otherwise it's a really nice looking locomotive, and you just have this weird protrusion from the front there. I always thought that's kind of interesting. Now I'll admit that it does take time to learn how to operate a all-in-one throttle slash brake, because you get used to having them independent. I don't, yeah. So this one, it does have an independent brake that you could use. You got this nice tunnel design here. So we're at the Leipzig Market. The station designs are really neat. I mean, this one's got like this almost like a wood looking, but maybe it's like a orange granite. I don't know, but you know, unfortunately the escalators do not work. They don't move. So it's like this is 3 sets of stairs there. Trying to find a. I thought there was a route map on one of these. Oops. Might be one right there. I don't know. Leipzig Wilhelm Lauschner Platz is our next stop. Lauschner? Yeah, Lauschner. See, this has got like this gray. This very weird design tile, I guess, like gray or off-white, and all these lights up here. Again, this brown stone in between the escalators there. Let's see if we can see if there's anything down here that we completed. Ah, yeah, that's what the route map looks like right there. And then it goes, zooms in to the all the underground stations there, it looks like. Oops, I closed them a little too early. Yeah, just that little smidge. Leipzig, Bayer Eicher, Bonhoff. Their next stop. Still got quite a few stations to go, so we're just gonna press on, get all our services completed. So this one's got these weird beams that are multicolored there. I have to say that they just didn't, you know, the different stations here in the underground it's not, you know, cut and paste. It's got, each one has its own unique character. You know, like with these pipes or steel beams, I guess, that they just painted different colors, and some of them, you know, obviously this one houses lighting for the area here, the stairwell. Got another route map there. So we're at this one, and we have Leipzig MDRs coming up next, and then our final destination will be that one at the very end, I think. Is our got some repairs to make to the station floor there. Now, what I find interesting is that we've been underground, and I would think that the snow here on the top would have melted off by now. Like we've not been outside in the weather, you know. Kind of interesting. Looks like we start to actually come up out of the underground here, right here. Which is weird that it seems like it's on the underground according to the map. So maybe they haven't exactly updated the map. But either way, now we're coming back out in the weather. The notorious wheel slips coming back. It was fun while it lasted. Not having to worry about it too much. Now the interesting thing is, it's even though we are way behind schedule now, like over 15 minutes late, it's not. I would have expected, quite honestly, that the game would have said, "Oh, you know, you failed the service basically by not maintaining a reasonable time schedule." You know, because this does impact the other trains behind us. But, you know, thankfully we're allowed to press on and complete everything. Looks like there's a, yeah, there's the map right there. So we have a 120 here. And then we also have a yellow ahead. Now let's see if we can see what's going on up in front here. We have another service ahead of us. No. Okay, so maybe that's just there for whatever reasons. See, this is green, but there's a yellow right here. That's kind of weird. Oops, we come under a, oh, because there's a red right there at the end of the station. All right, let's get on the brake here. Start to slow down. Break off a bit, and we're just kind of coast in here to the station. Now, 1000 hertz magnet did turn off, but we do have a red there. Is that our last? Nope, we still have a few more stops to go. So we do have a, now we're under a 500 hertz magnet. We need to be very careful here. We don't want to shoot past this stop marker and run the risk of going into that, past that red light there. So it switched to green, of course, when we stopped. Let's see. Let's take a look at that light. Is there any? No. Is there 1000? I can't get close to it. Okay. So we're gonna go. We're gonna kind of edge out of the station here once we get the doors closed. once we get past that signal, and I'll acknowledge it and see if that releases us from that magnet. In fact, let's see if I can... Nope. It's not going to allow me to... Alright. So with that magnet, we can't go anything faster than 15 kph. Or 15, is it 15 miles? Anyway, we're not going to go, we're trying not to go too fast until we get past that signal, and then hopefully we get released from that. Now, if you're starting off with the game and you have a printer at home, I highly suggest, and that's one thing I definitely need to get soon, is a printer. Alright, so we can go a little bit quicker now, because the 15 or the 50 or 500 hertz magnet is not active, but we're not going to go too fast. We're going to try to get up to about 35 and just cruise on that for a bit until we get the until that stops blinking. Yeah, you can print out the some of the manual stuff. They do have a bit of a cheat sheet that you can... Alright, now we should be able to speed up here. Barclayburg Nord is our next stop. Yeah, you can print all that stuff out. It's in a PDF format. You can print out, obviously the exact pages that you want to keep. To kind of keep track of the signaling and everything until you get more comfortable with it. Let's get on the brake here, because yeah, we're coming into the station now already. Here's a stop.
Bitte achten Sie auf die Markierung am Bahnsteigrand.
You can hear some of the announcements there in German. Let's see. Nothing really here. Almost at the very end there. We're getting there. Just under 20 minutes from the 2-hour mark. Of course, this took a lot longer because of the issues with the wheel spin and everything. So that added a lot of time to the game today. So our next destination isn't too far. We'll just coast it on in here. Now, of course, when we get towards our final destination, we will get, we'll go under 1000 hertz magnet, 500 hertz magnet, and that'll be, because there'll be a red light at the very end there. So that's our stop there. There's a station there. And one more there, and then that should be it. Yep, so we got 2 stops left after this. Of course, I go sliding on through. Not too terribly bad. We're still all on the platform there. Stop marker ended up back here, so we should have been way back here somewhere. So yeah, we're there. So we got Markleberg, Großstadteln, and then Markleberg, Gaschwitz is our final stop. And then that'll be it for our stream for the day. And then we'll be back later on, like I said, for some Ruhr-Signord freight service. We use the uniquely liveried, it's like a black and silver 185.2 DB. Markleberg, Großstadt. This one's a bit more of a distance from our most recent stop, but it'll go very quickly. It's one of those branch lines there that probably is actually used in real life. Go ahead and start slowing down now. We do have that red light on the other end there. That should turn green once we come to a stop. Yeah, if you Google this route and look at it, the map, and you can look at the map, the real life map, and it branches out in several different places to different locations. Yeah, very unique layout. So yeah, we're now under the 1000 hertz magnet. We'll get released from that as soon as we get into the station and get our passengers and all that. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. It's been probably been about a month since I've actually ran this route. Because I just figured this one, for whatever reason, I decided this was the easiest to learn the PZB, CIFA, all that stuff at the same time. I don't know why, but yeah, this route seemed to be the most easiest to learn all that stuff on. Although any of the German routes, if you decide to learn PZB, CIFA, all because they all kind of hit. Sometimes they hit at the same time. Sometimes CIFA is like every 30 seconds, I think, or maybe a minute. I don't know, but it comes on. It seems fairly frequently. But the PZB, you just have to know when to acknowledge everything. I certainly sometimes probably over acknowledge, but better to be safe than sorry. Oh, can we go next there? That just goes all the way. Oh, comes down there.
Bitte achten Sie auf den Abstand zwischen Zug und Bahnsteigkante.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's not a lot of automobile traffic out. Hmm. Alright, so that one went to a yellow up ahead. It was red short time ago. But going into the station, our next final stop here shouldn't take very long to get there. Oh, see, went a little too fast there. So the PZB went into fits. I must have missed something. All right, so we have to put the brake on a little bit. Get that recharged. All right. And that's what happens. Yeah, I may have missed acknowledging something too. We'll acknowledge this yellow as soon as we get past it. Oh, I know what it was. There was a 30-kilometer sign back there. That's probably what it was. Yeah, now that I think of it, I did see the 3. And I did acknowledge it, but I sped up anyway. Just kind of replaying it in my head, what might have happened. So, yep, there's the 30 again. So, but of course, as we get closer, we'll come. We're already under the. Now we're under the 500 hertz magnet. We're just going to go ahead and slow way down even more. We'll acknowledge the 30. Yep, that's what it was. I was speeding. Now, when we do LGV Mediterranean on Friday, I've already picked a service. We're going to be in this. It's going to be raining, so that's going to be unique in itself too. That will add an element of slipperiness to the track, and of course the challenges are always to be how to use the braking system properly, brake in time, slow the train down enough to not blow through the station significantly. We do have a 50 kph board here. Of course, that would be if we were continuing on. Go ahead and acknowledge that as soon as we pass it, though, even though it doesn't really apply to us. We can kind of speed back up here, although it's not going to make much of a difference. We're so late already. But, oh well, it is what it is. Now, what I don't understand, and maybe it's just they didn't have time to do it or whatever, but how do you have your passengers standing outside in cold weather without any kind of jackets, or when it's raining they don't have umbrellas either? I feel kind of bad for them. And sometimes they just stand there. They don't always get on the train. They just stand there and like look. It's kind of lost. It's very weird. But anyway. Well, as soon as we're done here, this will be the end of the stream. Just under 2 hours. Thank you to my one viewer who has stuck through the entire situation here. Greatly appreciate that. So that will be concluding our stream for today, and I will see you later this afternoon on Rur 6.